Oh, man. Come on in. Huddle up, everybody. Huddle up.
Oh,
everybody get in here.
Oh.
Good game for 3 quarters. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Losers Lounge. Presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer. Find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We're also in the Toyota Losers Lounge. Kind of stinks in here. Driven by Front Range Toyota stores. We need a car freshener. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Hop in the chat. Let it all out. Complain about what you want. Officiating, foul grifting, Michael Malone, the basketball gods, whatever it is. Let it out in the Toyota chat. I got Brennan Vogt in the house.
Man, first half was one of the best halves of basketball I've seen all year.
It was really good.
Second half, not so much.
Nah, second half was a little rough. Takes 48 minutes to beat that team. They're freaking good.
Yeah,
Over here, Harrison Wind.
They are freaking good, and Nuggets just didn't have enough.
Yeah.
Again. We've seen against some of these top-tier teams, which sucks.
I feel as though Denver took a step forward today relative to the play that they've been at. So there are some positives here, some negatives as well. I'm still in the 2-shot. All right, here we go. Superstar Dev.
We're doomed. It's all over. There's nothing else here. It's all over. The season's done, man. It's all over.
Wrap it up. We got a lot to break down. I think this is going to be a very content-rich Losers Lounge. So let's run through the fast breakdown, shall we? Do you guys remember when the times were good? First note does not tell the story. 10-0 run for the Nuggets.
Wow. The first note rarely does not tell the story of the game.
I know, rarely. They were incredible, man. They really came out like this game meant something to them. Early game, daylight savings. They were locked in and ready to go. Shea had a slow start, but then, you know what? Because remember, he missed like 4 to begin this game.
Yeah.
And what changed was his ability to get to the rim.
Yeah.
After missing a couple jumpers, he was like, you know what? I'm getting to the rim on Denver, and that started things out. And then all of a sudden, Aaron Gordon. Oh, Shea and Jokic living up to the hype. Both guys playing incredibly in that first quarter. And then Aaron Gordon goes out with a calf strain in the first quarter in his opening stint. That calf strain that has kept him out for so many games. That was the worst news I could have heard today. Then Jokic landed awkwardly on his elbow on a foul on Isaiah Hartenstein, and the game kind of changed on that too. Those were 2 very big turning points. Jalen Williams hit a corner 3 at the buzzer to make it 29-28 Nuggets. Denver were leading for most of that. He had 2 threes. He had 3 threes in the game, but 2 threes in a row, and sometimes those are the margins. Second quarter, Zeke guarding really well. Michael Porter Jr. heating up, but Thunder pulling away anyway. Murray making a lot of winning plays, even if he wasn't scoring the ball. But you guys remember that second quarter? He had like 4 or 5 rebounds, deflections, like just hustle plays. It was really nice. And then Christian Braun started heating up. He had that nice little run in the second quarter that kept the game 61-60 Thunder going into that half. No AG to start the second half, so where do you go? Russell Westbrook, of course. Let's go super tiny. Did not work. Thunder started on a 13-4 run, making it look easy. Denver could not score in the half court. And then the whistles started. That third quarter was nothing but free throws, Oklahoma City. So a lot of this was just bad Denver defense. Like Denver, weak fouls. Like if you're going to foul, make a foul. Yeah. A lot of just swipes across the arm or little tiny shoves or little things like that. When Russ checked out, Pickett comes in. Denver actually made a run. This game was about to be over. Denver made a run to close the third quarter. 86-83 Thunder. We got ourselves a game, boys. Jokic starting in the fourth, very abnormal. Michael Malone mixing things up a little bit. And Denver, within 5 points, Russell Westbrook just gets hit in what I thought was a pretty obvious foul. Would have been Chet Holmgren's 6th foul. That's a huge steal.
Well, he wasn't shooting a jump shot. So
he wasn't shooting a jump shot, but it was just like a Hadouken right to the face. And he goes down. They get the ball go the other way, score a 3, and Michael Malone gets a tech. Huge swing, man. I'm telling you, that was an enormous swing because now it's a 10-point game. And how does the game end? 28-8 run from the Oklahoma City Thunder. They were absolutely dominant. Shea was dominant in his close. Defensively, they were dominant. Denver couldn't get into anything. Very impressive. And if you want to know a single play that really defined that run, Lou Dort on the break misses a dunk. Denver, nobody runs back, no rebound. They kick it to the corner, and Dort hits a 3.
Yep.
The game was over at that moment. And to the Thunder's credit, they had 20 exclamation points in the fourth quarter. They just piled it on once the game got out of control. All right, let's get to our Red Hawk Roofing big takeaways.
Caw.
Dev, start us off.
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is a tweet that I seen a couple years ago that I have to bring it back up. I've lost all respect. Sorry, this is absolutely rigged for money or ratings. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
I won't be silent. I just saw it live. Yeah. Sorry. I am not
Don't
a
stay
person
silent, man.
that goes against the refs in every game, and I truly cannot believe what that game turned me into. Like every single play, I was actually complaining out loud about the type of fouls that they were getting. Like the Nuggets got more foul calls. The Thunder had meaningful foul calls. It was like on shot attempts. It was like that led to points. It was wild to see that one team was getting a lot more of those points off of it, and it was just the timing of every single one of the calls. Like that was foul grifting, but it was more than that. It was bad. That was bad reffing. Truly.
I mean, this is, to be honest with you, though, this is the Thunder. You know, this is one of the things that Shea is really good at. And I saw Miroslav had a great take on it. You can't be mad at Shea. It's the rules that call for it. I mean, the egregious one was the one on Russ where he's looking sideways the whole time. He's not even looking at the basket. Yeah. He sees Russ coming around, and he jumps literally sideways.
Not up and down. He jumps sideways into Westbrook. I don't
think that one should have been a call. I wonder if they would have challenged it, what it would have been, because Russ is on his feet. He's not even trying to challenge the shot. He just happens to be standing in an area that Shea was able to jump sideways into and gets it. But yeah, there's a lot of that, man. And unfortunately, these younger teams, and the Celtics are a part of this, these younger teams, they grew up with this. This didn't used to be a thing you even tried. They grew up like the Euro step. Everybody kind of had to learn it. They grew up with the idea that if you do these rip-throughs and side steps and backwards jumps and leg kicks.
You can't do the rip-through. You don't
well, it's a foul. It's just you don't get a free throw. So they grew up with those things, and it's just, second nature, and they're really good at it.
Doesn't it feel like the Nuggets are like fighting against the new NBA?
Well, Jamal's kind of doing it, though, lately, if you've noticed.
But I'm just saying with, like, the grifting and
the three-point shooting.
And it's just, like, two very definable traits of, like, every top team, except the Nuggets.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets are just, like, fighting against this immovable object that is Adam Silver's NBA. And
they're swimming upstream, but the river keeps getting more water. You know what I mean? Like every year, it's like, can we swim upstream this year? We'll find out.
Yeah.
But again, the Thunder, I can't even blame them for it because it is a part of the game, and there are a handful of players that do it really well, and Shea is right there with the best of them.
Yeah.
Might be the best one right now currently in the NBA. Might be.
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway, Kaka, is that the Nuggets need more from their number 2 option in a game like this. Yeah. Jamal Murray finished with 17 points. He shot 6 of 17 from the floor. 1 of 5 from 3, just wasn't good enough. I mean, you look at the second option on OKC, Jalen Williams, 26 points. I was watching, Celtics Lakers last night, and Jalen Brown, the number 2 guy. Some would say he's the number 1 guy, but he's the number 2 guy on Boston. He's a beast, man.
Yeah.
He is a beast. And in a game like this where Nikola Jokic dominates the first quarter and then hurts his elbow, didn't hit another jumper the rest of the game, or like a free throw was clearly bothering him. The Nuggets just needed somebody else to take on the mantle or take the mantle and just the scoring load there. And Jamal Murray couldn't do it. And look, OKC's got a lot of great defenders. Dort, Case and Wallace, Caruso.
So many, man.
SGA.
You're not even
a good defender.
Not even, there's 5 or 6 more, but yes.
There's a bunch of others. Jalen Williams, all-star. They got a lot of great defenders to throw at Jamal, but the best offensive players in the league, the all-star level guys, are able to rise above that. And Jamal he didn't have it enough offensively today, and he needed to pick up the slack a little more because Yoke couldn't carry Denver by himself. And the Nuggets only had 103 points in this game.
Yeah, 103. It's a good defense, man. They're impressive. The foul part of this, like, I can put that in a box and appreciate that team is an incredibly connected defensive team. Yeah. They just are on a string. They do so many complex things. They keep their guy in front of them. That's why they're good. I mean, Shea is incredible. He's also wild at why they're good. But their defense is legitimate. 9 guys come in and they all execute. It's impressive.
My big takeaway, my Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is Aaron Gordon and the injury. And It's not even just, well, if Aaron Gordon was healthy, they win this game. It's
right.
just more, I think this team can be competitive with their core four if they don't have Aaron Gordon. I think you just saw the difference really clearly today. Now, look, it's a game of runs and all that, but it was looking real good with AG out there, and now he's out again. And it's the calf. It's been the same thing all year. If they have any chance, they'll need Gordon out there. Look, OKC's the better team, but Denver can beat the better team, not without Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
And so that just was a brutal injury that's been plaguing Aaron all season long. And there's more to this season than just Aaron Gordon's injury, but it's been a big factor, I think, in some of the choppy nature and the inability to look like their best selves against the best teams. Admittedly so, too. I just think you have to acknowledge there's a tier gap. There's 3 teams in the top tier.
Yeah.
And Denver's in that next tier. Maybe them, the Lakers, as kind of maybes. And to make up that gap, they're going to need to be healthy.
And consistency to me is part of what makes that gap, because Denver can look tier 1 for times. The Thunder had 4 quarters that were relatively equal. The fourth quarter was better. They actually turned it up a little bit. But it's not like Denver has such highs and lows. 10-0 start to the game. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, they haven't scored for 6 minutes. Oh, my God, unbelievable. It's like Denver can't be consistent even within a game, let alone the season. And Oklahoma City is just a metronome. It's just like nonstop. You have to beat them every possession or else they'll score. You have to execute every possession or else they'll get a stop. And it's really impressive. My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway, though. Again, this game to me was bigger than officiating, but I do want to call to one play because it highlights what this matchup is all about. They have great defenders for Jamal Murray. Jamal only having 17 points tonight does not surprise me in the least. He went 6 of 17. I think I agree that he has to be better than that, but I'm not surprised. That's as tough as a matchup as he will face at any point in the season. But the trade-off is that they have 2 big guys, neither of which are big enough for Jokic. And we've seen this so many times in playoff series. Remember when Denver played Portland a while back, and Jokic was like good for 3 quarters and dominated the fourth because the first 3 quarters were more about fouling out Jusuf Nurkic than anybody else? Well, tonight, Chet Holmgren has 5 fouls with 9 minutes to go in the game, and he picked up his 6th. The refs, I don't think the refs missed it. I think the refs were like, it's a 6th. You know, like a superstar's on a 6th. We got to give a little bit extra here.
Yeah.
That's the game. When people, Jokic, obviously the elbow and missing his 3-point shot was one of them, but Jokic facing a 5-man paint has to just draw fouls, and he has to chip away at it, chip it away at it, chip it away at it. If Chet checks out of that game after hitting Russell Westbrook in the face on an obvious foul, which should have happened, the game changes. That was the game plan from Nikola Jokic. Put pressure on them. Hartenstein had 4. He had 5. That would have been 6. That changes the game. So now Hartenstein has to close 9 minutes without fouling. Like, that's the game. And when you don't give it to him, it's like, hey man, this is about that's this team strength, that's that team strength. Now you have to call it even. And that play to me flips everything. So it's a bummer because if you ask me what does this playoff series look like, I say, I bet Jokic tries to draw fouls for the first 3 quarters of every single one of those games. Right. I just think that's how it goes. And it probably is a little clunky and a little ugly. And if Denver wins, it's because they're able to knock them out in the 4th. Didn't happen tonight because of an egregious no call. And a bunch of other stuff happened that obviously textured it. But to me, that's why that play is going to stick out to me.
Yeah. I didn't feel like, so much of OKC's story when you look at their team is you got SGA, but then you have like the size and length inside. Yeah. Hartenstein, Holmgren, Jalen Williams, who the 3 threes he hit in the first half might have been the difference in this game. I didn't feel like their size really affected Denver that much.
It's the collective 5 men get to be in the paint and they rotate and scramble
it's just the fact that the Nuggets have no spacing.
Yeah.
And those guys can just collapse and cut off the cutting lanes and that way. It didn't feel like to me like those Twin Towers really affected Jokic in his individual offensive game at all.
Yeah, but you talk about the game plan. Like they had a game plan and they executed the game plan. They gave him Jokic, they were all around him when he got into the paint. They formed walls. They tried to force it out of his hands and make the other guys beat you. And this was a game that the other guys didn't shoot the ball particularly well. And then they got out and ran, especially on makes, but also on misses. It was like, okay, we're going to get on the fast break and we're going to try to
kick the Thunder
go.
people out.
So I do think that it's a lot of the Thunder knew what they wanted to do in this game, and they did it. They really wanted this one. They rested their guys in the last game. They they executed their game plan, and then everybody showed up for them. So like Denver, really, they have to get better, but it comes with the efficiency.
I feel like the three like most defined game plans that we've seen recently against the Nuggets were deployed by the Lakers, the Celtics, and now the Thunder.
Good defenses, to be clear.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's the great defenses, the top tier coaches that are deploying these, and like this is what the Nuggets are going to see in the playoffs. Like these have been playoff level game plans. Almost, it feels like that those three teams have deployed against Denver, and it's not hard. Like you know what you're doing on defense when you really game plan for it against the Nuggets. So we've seen it 3 times now recently.
Yep. So it's interesting. Again, this game turned into a blowout. And by the way, I've watched a lot of Thunder this year. They're a really good team, really interesting one. They do that. That's part of what they do. They beat everybody by 15 to 25 points, and it's always in the fourth quarter when they throw that haymaker. So it's not like, oh man, what a crazy thing. That's part of what they do. But again, I think Denver was close to putting them in a compromised spot. Weren't able to get over the hump, and the rest is history. All right, let's take a break. A lot more to get to, including Aaron Gordon's injury, Michael Porter's big night that might not have been such a big night, and Peyton Watson, MIA.
Man.
Oh, man, that part is going to drive me nuts. We'll talk about that on the other side.
Volo is Denver's most popular provider of adult social sports leagues, pickup games, and events. They've got soccer, volleyball, pickleball, kickball, basketball, cornhole, and many more. It's in Lodo, Rhino, Highland, City Park, Cherry Creek. It's all over. It's all over Denver. And playing with Volo is a great way to meet new people, make new friends, be social, just get outside, hang out with the community, run around a little bit, play some sports. You know what I mean? Built in for our lives when we're kids. You kind of got to go seek it out when you're an adult. Volo makes it really, really easy. Right now, players can sign up as a free agent, small group, or full team, and all ability levels and backgrounds are welcome to join. Use code DNVR10 for $10 off any Volo Denver league.
Volo is also really fun, man. Like you can play over at City Park right here, and then you can just come to the bar for like post-game beers or whatever. There are like a ton of Volo people in here all the time during the week. So definitely get set up if you want to, play sports. They got leagues across the city, every single sport. So check out Volo. Also check out our friends over at Raising Cane's, and they have a craveable box combo right now that is what dreams are made of. Have you heard of the craveable box combo?
Tell us about it.
Every chicken finger hand battered and cooked to order just for you. Every crinkle cut fry comes from grade A premium potatoes. Each thick sliced Texas toast, lightly brushed with Cane's garlic butter blend and grilled on the griddle to golden brown perfection. Most importantly, where the secret recipe Cane sauce is made in restaurant every day, making the full box combo special so perfect for you. You can get your box combo today. Make your craveable dreams a reality. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. Raising Cane's, perfect for a Sunday afternoon where you just want to eat your feelings. That's what I want to do right now. I want to get that box combo, fries, Texas toast, best chicken fingers around. You can get that with Raising Cane's. You can get your box combo today. Make your craveable dreams a reality.
All right, we are back here, segment 2. Hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Catch all of our shows. Subscribe wherever you get podcasts. So I'm going to talk about Michael Porter actually here first, because to me it's one of the bigger points I have. 24 points, 15 rebounds. That's a phenomenal stat line. Minus 33 in this game. And this is what scares me. We've seen Mike come up small with his shot, although he 3 of 8. He had a couple shots tonight that were big swing ones, wide open, didn't connect. But the numbers there are there. It's almost more concerning to me. And 2 plays that stand out to me more than anything else. Russ checks out with 6 minutes to go. Still a game. Russ didn't want to check out. He was upset. Very first play, Mike's the low man. Jokic pick and roll, steps up on one side, and now you have to cover 2. Hartenstein cuts from the corner to the basket, and Mike stands there just completely unaware that he is in help side at the moment, and it's a wide open dunk. And because of the shot, you could see Westbrook on the sideline, who had just checked out, and he is like hitting the thing just like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? You come down to the next possession. He's on the court for spacing. There's no spacing. The five guys in the paint, they're not there. That might have been the shot he missed, actually. It gets kicked out to him. And then the other way, I think might have been the Lou Dort play where he dunks it, misses. Did they still get the rebound and go? Those are plays that if you're Russell Westbrook, you're sitting there going, that's what I do. I don't let them have those plays. I rotate. I do these types of things. So to me, the fact that Mike had it going tonight and was still a minus 33 is this part of this thing that scares you about Mike.
Yeah, I mean, the points was there. The field goal attempts, the threes. Like, offensively, you wanted Michael Porter Jr. to have a game where he responded with the physicality, with it being a good team and keeping the Nuggets in it, which he did offensively. The defense was the issue, the working hard on the defensive end because they're giving you so many actions and trying to make sure that it's Michael Porter Jr. that has to think, where it played right into the Thunder's game plan. Their game plan was like, okay, let's make Michael Porter like have to switch, have to talk through, screens, have to step up and make the right decisions a lot. And when you have a minus 33, that tells you that he did not show up in those type of ways. So, it's a mixed bag type of game. It's a very bad game for him. But you really do want that scoring and for him to step up in that way. So, you just want more from Michael Porter Jr. and them to be able to figure it out with him on the floor. And then on those plays you're not able to, where you have to go to a Russell Westbrook or have to go to, other guys. So, rough one.
It's just like, who can you really trust against these great teams and great, well-coached offenses? Like going back to my point a few minutes ago about, the playoff-level defenses that a couple teams have deployed against Denver, the Celtics, the Lakers, now the Thunder. Offensively, too, it kind of goes with that argument as well. Those three teams are really well-coached. They're going to exploit your weaknesses when you're on defense and they're on offense. And Lakers not an amazing offense. The Thunder have an amazing offense, but they're going to put you in difficult positions. Like, they're going to go at your weak points. That's what great coaching staffs do. So it just does make me nervous because it's like, can you really trust him defensively? We're back to that.
Right.
It felt like maybe he was overcoming that a couple seasons ago on the way to the championship, and he did make a lot of strides defensively, but it feels like we've taken a couple collective steps back the last couple years. And he did have some great defensive plays tonight, like the
guarding one-on-one.
The block he had, that recovery.
It's always help. It's like one-on-one, he can do his job.
Yeah. It's just, do you trust him?
He's a good isolation defender, actually, but he's really bad off the ball.
I don't know.
But he's bad off the ball. He is a good isolation defender. Honestly.
I think so, too. He's long.
He's a good isolation defender.
He uses it well by just putting a hand up.
He is. He's a good ISO defender. He's a really bad off-the-ball defender. Really bad.
Another thing, and by the way, Nuggets fans are going to be so mad at me. When I talk about the MVP and why we should be humble about what things we value and how the numbers go, one argument for, because Shea is a different type of player than Jokic, right? He's not going to be Luka or that type. He's a scorer. And one thing about isolation scores is it simplifies your game plan. Like, the Thunder don't have a complicated offensive scheme. I'll bet he could beat his guy one-on-one. So if they double, swing the ball, find the open guy, and if not, let him get to his spots. And he's really good at it. And you see tonight, Denver had 22 assists. Jokic had 9 of them. Denver has a system, and unfortunately, if guys are missing shots or if teams just don't respect it, it can take away some of the stuff. So that's just one counter, I guess, to this idea of look, he's beating them in rebounds and assists. There's a real value to a guy that just puts so much pressure on the defense as a one-on-one scorer that you can't do anything about it. Jamal Murray's the next guy, 6 of 17. Again, I thought Murray had his moments. How mad you are at Jamal in this game has to do with what you expect of him, and he's a max player, the second best player. I just think that the Thunder defenders are better than Murray is offensively. And that's almost an insult to Jamal, but it's kind of what I think. He needs to be better for the Nuggets to win, but am I surprised he got shut down by that stable of defenders? Not at all.
That's what scares me kind of about Murray's performance is just, we've worried that the Thunder have everything they need to make it really, really difficult on Jamal. And
like Minnesota did, only probably more so.
And they did, And it just felt like at times it wasn't even how hard he had to work. There were also times where it just felt like, man, where is he? So it was just not. I thought in the first half he made some winning plays, on the boards and defense and stuff. But that all I think evaporated. And sometimes plus minus can be a little cruel, man. Like I thought Mike played actually pretty well today. I know that the dynamics matter, but like, do you really? I thought Jamal was a lot worse than Mike today, and
because they go at Murray one-on-one and get their points,
and they do. But look, the part of it is the defense is set up to make life more difficult for Jamal. It's something he's going to have to navigate in the postseason. He's going to see a ton of it in the postseason, and one of the reasons why this is a tough matchup for Denver is just that. I mean, they're maybe number one in terms of like having what you need to make life hard for Jamal. They're probably the number one team in the league, so that matters.
Yeah.
We've talked about the Nuggets offense being easy to defend. I think against the Thunder, it's even easier to defend because typically I feel like other teams are trying to slow down Jokic and Jamal. They have the guys for it to slow down Jamal. That it's like you're not really putting in the game plan. It's like our guards are what drives us defensively, and then we push them into the paint with Shet, who's one of the best defenders in the league already. But they're just playing their game plan. They're just like, I'm going to be physical with Jamal. I'm going to like take the ball out of his hands and try to slow him down. And Jamal played into it in this game, like with the game plan. He was not very aggressive, although he has 17 field goal attempts. Like a lot of those came late when it was like, okay, Yoke doesn't have it going. But he didn't start this game with the pace of like, I'm going to try to go and score 30 or 40 or something like that. And I do think that there's going to be a lot of nights against these good teams that Jamal is going to have to be aggressive in shooting every single time with like the kill mode mentality because, I mean, everything is around Jokic. And if you're the Nuggets, if you're Jamal, if you're, you already know that. So it's like, okay, how do I put myself in this game and make an impact early on? And Jamal didn't do that in this game. So I think that's why he played so bad. Is because he was not as assertive as you would assume. And then defensively, I mean, the Thunder, they throw so much at you, and Jamal couldn't keep up defensively. Like, guys are just kind of scoring on him pretty easy right now. And they have so many mismatches that the Nuggets have on the floor at one time defensively that Jamal makes it a little bit easier as well. So, really, this was a pretty bad game for Jamal, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was definitely bad. Especially in the first half, though, he did get some open looks that he could have made. I remember, two in particular, like a couple mid-range jumpers that are typically his bread and butter. If those go in, maybe his night or his day looks a little different. And then in the second half, he got bottled up completely. I don't remember outside of maybe like an open three if he really got 100% free that often. But, yeah, I mean, he was my Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway, and like, to your point, maybe it's because my expectations are just too high for him.
They're not too high. They are appropriately high.
I do still maybe have some hope that he can really like dominate some of these big time games. Maybe that's wishful thinking.
Well, I think he absolutely can, because what you're going to need in a lot of this, you're going to need two things. You're going to need a lot of step backs, a lot of distance stuff, because they're so good at rotating and packing the paint. So are you just collapsing it to kick out to, your non-shooters? So he's going to have to hit the tough contested distance shots, especially from three. He had a couple of those. Will he do it consistently? That's one of my questions. And then the second part of that is, and we talked about this with the Jokic rules that JJ Redick and the Lakers put together. Denver needs another way of playing and another guy they can go to. And I think AG is their most likely guy. But I think that's also part of this, is you have to attack them from different angles because they're putting so much pressure on Jamal and Jokic that you need a release valve there. I do think Aaron Gordon is one of those guys, but unfortunately he was out obviously in this one. Let's just quickly touch on we're not quite at break time. Let's take our break because I have a big topic. I want to talk about Aaron Gordon going down and just how concerning, because that more than anything else in this game is my big concern.
Totally.
We're live after every game. We're live before every game too, where we fire up the Bet365 app, where it is never ordinary. Go ahead and download the Bet365 app. Use code DNVR365. Deposit $10. Place a bet for $5. Get $150 in bonus bets. Shout out Bet365. And again, in that pregame show, we like to throw to our guy Dev at the end, and he puts some bets out there for you. You're always welcome to play with us. You don't have to. It's a lot of fun if you want to. And once you're signed up for Bet365, you're going to get a lot of more opportunities to play, like early payout offers, custom boosts. There's some custom DNVR boosts out there, so keep your eyes peeled. Again, right now, new customers can get 150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. Use the code DNVR365, deposit $10 at sign up. You have to be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends at Red Hawk Roofing. Denver's best roofers have joined the DNVR team. You've seen them on the Nuggets broadcast. Yeah, they're big time now. Shout out to them. Go with the pros. Make checking your roof part of your spring cleaning routine and catch any issues or repairs. Before they get out of hand, there's no project too small. For our guys at Red Hawk, they're your go-to from everything from minor repairs to full roof replacement on your home or business. You can build long-lasting relationships with them. Actually, I'm not going to say you can. You will. You will build long-lasting relationships with your roofers if you go with Red Hawk Roofing. That's the kind of guys they are. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time, Colorado's best estimators and contractors, huge DNVR supporters as well. Free no-obligation roof and property inspection, free in-depth photo report for all inspections as well. Support your local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, they do both. Check out redhawkroofing.com, 720-771-8921. Tell them we sent you.
All right, so another negative story from this one was that Aaron Gordon went out in the first quarter. Denver's on that great run, and he goes down. And look, man, if it was just an injury, it's just this game, whatever. Aaron Gordon has not been able to get any kind of momentum this season.
Yeah.
He has missed more games than you would think, and it's every time he comes back, he goes back out with this injury. There's no bigger story from tonight than that one. The game is immediate, and we're filling it, but there are 18 games remaining, I think, in the season. 18. Presumably, he's going to miss tomorrow. Okay, 17. Maybe he misses a week. Maybe he needs to. The runway on this was already short for the Nuggets to fully reintegrate what he brings to the table, and now it looks like it might have completely evaporated.
Yeah,
We got a carrier landing coming up.
The thing is, he already did sit a couple of weeks to get this right.
That's the other thing about
They
it.
did this, and then he comes back from the break, looks a lot better, says the calf feels better, then it's the ankle, now it's the calf again.
It's like when you have a headache and you've already taken ibuprofen, you can't take more. He's already taken rest.
I mean, I
What
think
can
it's
you
the
do?
big. I mean, I think it's the biggest story of this season. I'd be very curious to see how different Denver had looked if they had Aaron Gordon for a lot of these matchups.
Yeah.
Again, they are not the only hurt team in the league. They have other holes and flaws. It's not all about one thing. Sure hurts not to have Aaron Gordon. And I said at my big takeaway, this team can make a sneak run not without Aaron Gordon. And that's when you're watching these games, it just feels like they don't have enough guys. Yeah, they're down one really important guy, a versatile one too. So,
By the way, came in and hit his three right away. You're like, hey,
I know. Still hot.
do it again.
From
that's,
three.
I mean, that starting lineup looked pretty good to start the game. And look, it's got to be 4 quarters, but you know, that just Aaron Gordon has to be there. It's the bottom line.
He was +4 in his 7 minutes. I mean, it was 7 minutes. The Nuggets were winning him, and then obviously he goes down.
Yeah, that's also what's scary. Like, they were up, like, pretty, like, not comfortably, but, like, they were up in this game. Momentum was on his side. He knocked down a couple of shots. We got to see a few rebounds in only 7 minutes. So, like, he was looking like himself, which is always a positive, of course. But also that's what, like, if you look at how he's been playing as of late, you could tell that he's only shooting jumpers because he doesn't want to get inside and bang, which lets you know that, like, the injury is more than what you're thinking. People don't go out with an injury and not return and when things are going well. Like, this is actually bothering him in a game, and you're not seeing the same physicality. You're not seeing the same type of rebounding and trying to give that type of effort because the injury is pretty big, and he's been hurt for the whole year. This has been a very rough time for Mr. Nugget, trying to get himself back into it, and now we're going to see more time without him. So now you're like, already there's a lot of people that are frustrated with the Russell Westbrook with the starters. We're going to see more of that now. You know, so like this was a very meaningful injury right now because you're like you're getting the Zeke Najee, but you want them to look like themselves and you want them to play at their best, and they're their best when Aaron Gordon is healthy and he's playing a lot.
Yeah.
The reason I'm smacking my lips over here,
We're all smacking our
the reason I just did it just now is There is a silver lining to this. It's not, I mean, let's be honest, this is way a net negative. They needed him healthy yesterday, and if he's out again, it's a bad thing. But to me, it's like Zeke Naji is a bit of a Aaron Gordon understudy. I know that sounds crazy. What does he do? Defend? He doesn't play the dunker spot particularly well, but he does battle, and he stretches the court a little bit. You know, he just plays hard. So the idea, my hope would be, well, all right, let's plug him in there, and we're going to get even more Zeke minutes, you know, to close the year with Jokic and in that role. Except for I think you're right. I think we're just going to get more Russ minutes with Michael Porter at the 4 and super small.
It was so crazy when they rolled out that lineup to start the third quarter.
Was it?
Yes.
What? But I'm saying, were you surprised?
No, I was not surprised, but it was just crazy from what I would think, coaching perspective. You're going against a double big lineup. Your identity as a team is like, we're going to beat you with size and in the paint.
Yeah.
And then you don't have Zeke out there. Yeah, the AG injury sucks. There's no way around it. He's probably going to be out for at least a few games here. And it's been a story all season. I mean, wasn't the calf the first injury? It's been the most prevalent injury that he's had and had to battle through this year. I mean, I think it's the number one reason why the defense just has not been connected all year. AG just hasn't been a presence there. He's the glue of the Nuggets defense. And without that glue, you're just fragmented. And then he's also just a huge part of the Nuggets' identity. The Nuggets are a team that's going to beat you up in the paint, dominate inside, and play bully ball with you that way. They're a completely different team without Aaron Gordon doing that. Their makeup is different. Their identity is different. They just feel different. And it felt like the momentum totally shifted when Aaron Gordon went out of this game.
It feels like, and this is a criticism, this was not a good Michael Malone game, I thought. It feels like, okay, it's one thing to tell Russ, hey, we're going to start Christian Braun over you. He's having a great year. And it would appear to be another thing entirely to say, hey, we're going with Zeke Naji over you. Just doesn't seem to be a thing they're doing. Because I mean, I think...
Yeah, you're right.
Like, fit-wise, you just do that. But it's a like, I gotta go to Russ thing here. And... I don't even really mean to make it all about Russ or anything. It's more.
I thought Russ was good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't. Just a coaching choice that I question.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it. It's not really a criticism of Russ. It's a criticism of the shortcomings of this Nuggets roster and how you adjust to it. And unfortunately, it does put Russ, in my opinion, in a tough spot, you know, going in there and having to play the super small lineups for basically the whole second half.
I mean, we had the return of the 3-guard and then even a 4-guard lineup with Christian Braun at the 4.
You're screwed.
And you know why? It's because Michael Malone did not trust Peyton Watson. Now, Peyton Watson wasn't good in this one. He played 6 minutes, was all zeros except for a foul, and it was a -10. I thought he approached this game without the requisite energy, although I will say he is now in the Zeke role, where Zeke now does play alongside some Malone.
Zeke territory
or does play a little yoke, where Peyton is almost going to be the exclusively non-good lineup minutes or whatever. Nonetheless, you have to make the most of those minutes. And here's the thing that bugs me so much about this game. I don't have a lot of faith that the Nuggets can beat the Oklahoma City Thunder if they don't get a Shea stopper out there. And Shea did what he did tonight, man. He cooked Denver.
And Christian Braun had some good defensive possession. Wasn't close to enough. In the end, he didn't feel him at all. You know?
But Peyton Watson it was just like the Minnesota series last year, where you're kind of like, I have no idea if it's good or bad. The minutes are so small that you're like, I don't know. And so, to me, I know he's coming back from injury. Maybe that was it, but 6 minutes tonight.
It definitely felt like he got benched in the second half.
He was asked about it. He said he just wanted to go with different guys.
Yeah, he definitely got benched.
So we're back to this one. It's like we're in one hand. Pickett played tonight. He was okay. Pickett does a bunch of...
Going above PWat in the pecking order.
I mean, here we are.
Could you ever imagine we'd get here?
It's not even close, though. They didn't play close to the same amount of minutes. 16
Pickett might
minutes
be entering the circle of trust, guys.
He's above him. And also, if there's one area that the Nuggets have struggled the most for the entire year, it's been defense.
I know.
Peyton Watson is one of your best defenders. And I'm not saying he should play the entire time, but I do think you should get more runway to determine if it's going to be a bad game or not. I really don't think that you could see enough in 6 minutes to say this is not working or this is bad, especially seeing how the Nuggets have been playing and how he's been used throughout the year. So if defense is what you need, I feel like you have to play your best defenders minutes. So it's not Zeke Naji over Peyton Watson. It's like, okay, how do we get both of these guys to be playing more minutes and trying to get defense in the game?
We're 18 games from the playoffs, and do you know what impact he's going to make in the postseason defensively? Do you know what rotation works so that you can get him on the floor if you need him to guard a Shea? Like, we're 18 games left in the season, and I feel like I have no answer to those questions.
And injuries play a big part. Strother's out. Who even knows if he'd be a guy, though?
There's no way Strother would have made a defensive impact in this game.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, for the playoffs, who are your guys? Westbrook is a guy.
Yeah.
Zeke Naji is clearly your seventh man right now.
And here we are wondering if Pickett or PWat. Like,
and then your eighth man is Jalen Pickett or Peyton Watson.
I think it's Peyton Watson. Just tonight it wasn't.
But we don't really know. And I don't know if Michael Malone knows. And that is a really scary thought. Again, injuries have messed up a lot of this stuff too. And it's been a very chaotic year from that perspective from Denver. Everybody also has injuries. But the fact that we really don't know who your 8 go-to guys are going to be with 18 games left in the season is crazy.
And the one thing about Peyton Watson is
they're the 2 seed, now the 3 seed.
Because one thing about Peyton Watson is, I know one argument you could say is, well, they're just going to switch him off. But Peyton is a rare example of a defender who's good both on ball and off ball. He helps you rim protect as a weak side guy. Yeah. So even if, okay, Jamal's on the court with PWat, they just get the guard-to-guard screen, switch, and now PWat's off. But I still feel like he could impact it. Again, I don't want to take this off of PWat's shoulders. He does have to go into these games knowing that he might get yanked. Fair or not, he has to go into every one like, I'm maximizing these minutes that I get out there. Bigger point is, we are 18 games away, and Peyton Watson is still this question mark that he was a year ago. How are we still here?
Yeah, I mean, the injury couldn't have happened at a worse time, too.
We swing on over now to Christian Braun. Just talk about him. 19 points. He had 15, I think, at the half.
Let me go first on this one.
Please.
How did he only play 32 minutes in this game?
Interesting.
That's a great point.
And especially, he's been coming off a string of some 40. Big minute games. I mean, just look at his recent game logs. 38 against Phoenix, 38 against Sacramento, 47 against Boston. How did he only play what he did in this game? Like, he was getting cooked by Shea. Everybody was. You still want him out there for offense. Like, now Christian Braun's one of your most reliable offensive players at this point in the season. Shot it well from 3. I don't know what he was doing only playing 32 minutes in this game.
Yeah, that one is a little bit shocking. And he also had some spurts in this game where he like kept them in it and kept it close.
Yeah.
And they didn't ride the hot man. Like, he had back-to-back threes, had a couple of rebounds where he's working hard, and he's trying to slow down SGA. Like, I feel like they should play, like, have a better game plan when it comes to like these big name guys going at, the Nuggets defenders. But I think it might have been like the types of fouls that he was giving up in the game where maybe Malone was frustrated, because it was like a lot of touch fouls that was leading into 3-point, and one opportunities for the Thunder, where he's like, you have to be a bit more aggressive in this game, or you have to play a bit harder in that aspect of like high IQ. But he definitely deserved to play more minutes. 8 of 15 from the field. Like, he
played as much as Russ.
Shots up. Yeah,
him and Russ played the same minutes pretty much.
Confuses Malone a lot, but Christian Braun spaced the floor. He knocked down his 3 ball. He grabbed a couple of rebounds. He got out in transition and scored. He has to be playing more, and if you want to try to win these games against the good teams, you got to play him more.
I just hate that. You beg and beg and beg for like Zeke and Pickett to get chances to get moments, but it can't come without a cost. Yeah, and the cost is like, all right, we'll give it to you, but we're taking PWat out.
And to my point earlier, like, CB was not good on defense today.
He can't guard Shea, I don't think.
I don't think really he impacts him. It's a bad matchup. It's not the type of player he guards well, obviously now, but you need him out there for offense at this point.
Yeah,
like, he's a valuable offensive player. His transition stuff and his 3-point shot's been good.
Yeah. Do you have a take on him? You're very quiet on takes today.
No, I'm listening. You guys are great. I thought Christian Braun was really good, and I thought he should have played more. I mean, defensively, I know he's but
who was?
Yeah, man. Like, I came into this game.
It wasn't that bad.
Thinking SGA would cook them, to be honest. And I thought it was a short leash for Peyton. Well, I kind of got it, though, because this felt like a tight game that if the Nuggets won would feel so big, and he was really bad, but it does sort of feel like if he's the plan in the playoffs it's like it's just worth it to give him these minutes now. So I thought Christian and Peyton could have played more. I thought Christian hit some big time shots. It'd be nice if he had made some of the big defensive plays.
2 threes in a row.
But yeah, offensively, I thought Christian had some huge momentum swinging plays. I mean, he played hard. So yeah, I he could have been better on defense. I'll say that.
Yeah. And then the funny part about all of this is it's like, we got to get so-and-so out there for offense. They scored 103. But we got to put these guys out there for defense. They gave up 127. Like, nothing worked here.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to just know who your guys are and what it is.
Pickett had a nice game, though.
I did think Pickett, I mean, you want to talk about it? To me, Pickett.
I want to talk about that one stunt he had to free up that corner 3. Remember that one?
No.
It was the one.
You're talking about the cut through. Yeah.
Yeah, the cut through.
Dude, but he does this on every play. And this is what I'm trying to say is Pickett. You always need guys that also see, like you see what Luka and LeBron are doing. These are obviously different levels. They're both not only smart, but also capable. Pickett is smart, not necessarily capable. But when you have another guy that is like, oh, we're doing this, or this is what's going on, I'll be the screen. Like he cuts through and just sets the flare screen. And Jokic sees him cutting through, by the way, and is like, all right. And as soon as he goes, Jokic throws the pass. It's a phenomenal pass. If he doesn't hit the pin screen on that, it's a contested corner 3 from like Christian or whoever it was. Yeah. Instead, it's like right as that pass comes, boom, Pickett hits the closeout guy and it's wide open.
Porter,
It was Porter? Yeah, Porter's not open.
Yeah,
like Porter's never open on that pass unless you can free him up with something. And so to me, Pickett does a bunch of that stuff. I do wish he would have made 1 or 2 more shots tonight though, because he had good
Don't
looks.
you kind of trust his shot though a little bit right now?
Catch and shoot, yeah.
Yeah. The great thing about watching a game with Adam is he'll shout out all those things about Pickett that like the casual viewer won't see.
Well, nobody else does it. This is why it sticks out to me is there's no one else on the team doing it.
Cook. Yeah.
So it's like when somebody does it, you're like, oh, that made life easy. He did the thing that
little things.
Yeah, the
it's
little
like
things.
Pickett gives you see that high five from Pickett?
Well, come on, it ain't
that.
that.
Great.
It ain't that.
Also, I noticed on the watch along how big Pickett's feet are. They're huge.
No,
they're massive.
Very
you can't
big
stop
feet.
looking at them.
Yeah, very big feet. I was surprised.
Yeah, that was a prominent point on the watch along.
Are we overhyping Zeke Naji? 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 block shot, -8 in 23 minutes. Actually, -8 in 23 minutes for this game is not that bad. But I, again, thought he was good just because I thought he guarded well.
Dude, the individual defense on SGA, no one else was able to like slow him. And you're not going to stop SGA. So at no point are you thinking that he's a SGA stopper. But he did make him work. He made him think. He forced SGA into taking some dumb shots, like a lot of contested threes or a lot of like over him threes because he moves his feet so well and he's so tall. But he uses all of his strengths like in a game, and you have to like that against Zeke Naji. They're also like he forces a lot of fouls on rebounds because he's working hard to try to get the rebounds. He might not grab every rebound or some ever, but like he works so hard that it makes it hard for the defenders to like not go in and try to box him out or try to like keep him away from it. I liked Zeke Naji in this game. Like he got to the free throw line. He's trying to play aggressive. He does a little. He's also one of those players that does all the small things that don't show up in the box score. But I think that he deserves his minutes. 22 minutes. I'll take those 22 minutes if it just means you're going to be working hard and playing good defense.
Yeah, Shea did score on him a bunch, but he gave some good contests. He played solid defense on some of those step backs. I do feel like we've seen a couple of the old Zeke plays creeping in these last couple games.
Goes up soft and gets blocked.
Goes up soft, just like completely like misses an easy pass or something, or like fumbles the ball. There's been a couple of old Zeke moments creeping in. Overall, though, you're still really happy with his play.
I want to finish by asking this question. They play tomorrow. Who knows who plays in that one and who doesn't?
We didn't really talk about Jokic at all.
Oh, do you want to go to Jokic?
I mean, just
24-13.
He dominated the first quarter, 14 points, then hurt his elbow on a really bad fall.
Yeah.
Didn't hit a jump shot or maybe a free throw the rest of the game.
Him going 2 for 10 in this game is meaningful. We just talked about how he's not taking threes. To go 2 of 10, maybe it's the elbow. Michael Malone said after the game, elbow's fine. Nothing to see here.
Dude, his elbow could fall off and they'd say it's fine.
But to me, I just didn't. Jokic did miss a couple shots that I think were big ones. But to me, this game and this team is about they're going to sandwich. They're just going to like pack that
the Serbian sandwich.
They're going to pack that paint, and I just thought he did a decent job tonight of getting the shots where he could find them, putting pressure, drawing fouls. And
Yeah.
it just so I'm not. I just didn't think it was a bad Jokic game.
No, totally,
given the
man.
game plan.
Again, these defenses that are going to throw out these playoff level game plans, the Serbian squeeze, the Serbian sandwich, whatever you want to call it, like it's just going to lower Jokic's individual production. It just will.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of people like, oh, you just got to like go through the double team, go through the triple team. It doesn't work like that. Like you can't do that. You're going to turn it over. You're not going to get the foul calls every time. It just doesn't work like that. You've got to trust your teammates. Other guys have to do stuff. And these great defenses and great coaches have identified that. Lakers, Boston, now OKC. That's what they're going to see in the playoffs.
Yeah, there was some positives and some negatives with Jokic. Like the one thing that made me frustrated with Jokic is we continued, like we kept saying that, like, oh, his elbow is bothering him. His elbows. So why are you shooting threes if your elbow is bothering you? You don't go to that. Like you should try to affect the game in different ways if you're hurt or if you're injured. Because if if a shooter hurt their elbow and they just continue to shoot through, you're going to be frustrated with that. The thing that I did like with Jokic at times, though, is like he did try to shoot through double teams, which I really do think that he has to do.
Found
like
good angles.
He needs more of that because it just forces the defense to still try to force you into those plays. But also it's like, okay, now we have to try to play a little bit harder because we're taking away the shots, but he's also still getting shots up. And I think that every other big-time scorer in this league is like shooting through double teams and shooting over guys to make it a little bit harder on them. So that was a mixed bag for me. I don't want him just shooting threes the entire time. 10 threes in a game, I don't want it. I don't. Because he's so important down low, and he's such a good scorer down low.
I think he's shooting 10 threes against this team every time he plays. There's too many guys
They're
that
going
can
to
go
collapse too much if he's inside.
And so
There's
I
no
just think he
spacing.
has to pick his spots out there. And I do wonder how different the game was if he was just 4 of 10. Because 2 of 10 is obviously below the threshold, and it's not like he's taking the craziest ones. He did have a step back, though, tonight. But
That was a crazy one.
that was a bit of a crazy one. But
To beat the shot clock.
just to get the shot clock,
Yeah.
yeah. But I do wonder, like, how different do you think this game is if he is 4 of 10?
Completely. Yeah, because
I kinda
I
do
thought some
too.
of those were in some big spots too.
Yeah.
Like maybe towards the end there were a few forced,
yeah.
but like there were, I don't even really mean this to be an excuse. I do think his elbow was hurt.
Could
I
be.
do think he hurt himself today, but I don't know if that's why he went 2
Well, he had
of
an
10.
ice pack and wrap on it.
And
so,
he was
I mean,
iced after the game. So I'm going to say, yeah, it seems like it's hard if that wouldn't impact the shot. But I think like by design, Jokic wanted to get some threes up today and just miss some big ones. I'm not saying he's why they lost the game or anything like that, but 2 of 10 to me was a big deal in this game. And look, earlier in the year, Jokic was a knockdown 3-point shooter. I still kind of feel like the big clutch ones, I really think he's going to hit. But it'd be so great to see him get back to knocking all of them down, because to me that felt like such a game changer with how teams are guarding him now. At some point in the postseason, he will have to take and make those threes.
So I want to close on a big picture take here, which is less even about tomorrow's game, because they play tomorrow. It'd be great if everyone played and it was just another game.
It's not going to have the same feeling.
It's not going to have the same feel because the ABC-ness of it or whatever. The narrative is said. I do think Shea won the MVP today. He was
too.
on the inside track, but I do think this was the last time people will care about that discussion. And he played great. I mean, he's like I said, I don't have a problem with it.
He earned it today.
But the bigger question to me is, does your perspective change about Denver's ability to beat Oklahoma City in the playoffs in either direction
For this game?
after this game?
No, because I think that as a fan and just like a player that's watched, there were a lot of things that the Nuggets could have done better. But also you could say like the foul count, not having AG, Jamal not showing up in the same ways, Yoke's elbow, and then like starting to shoot the 3 ball. The way that they defend, I just think that there's adjustments that you would make in a playoff series or in a game that not to say matters, but like in a game that means a bit more, that you will just take. And you were right there. I know that the final score doesn't show how that game ended, but like this was a game of runs. This was a game of momentum, and they were right there when it mattered, and then it started to like slowly deteriorate over time. But I liked how the Nuggets responded early on. That let me say like, okay, they're at least up for this type of game. So no, I think the Nuggets are still where I want them to be, even though I really need them to get a win against a good team.
I feel a little better about a playoff matchup against OKC after this game, to be honest. I mean, got hurt, wasn't really himself offensively for the second, third, and fourth quarter. Didn't really get anything from Jamal. And again, I mean, these are like my kind of optimistic views about a lot of guys on this team. SGA had a great game. I mean, he's had a great season. Other than that, it didn't feel like a ton of guys on the Thunder really hurt them. And Denver didn't play a great game.
Chet was great too.
Chet was very good. Yeah, very good. And I would love to see, the types of adjustments Michael Malone would make in the playoffs. So I still feel okay about this matchup. Look, the Thunder are a great team. They've been the best team in the West all season. They're clearly a level above the Nuggets right now. But if all things go right for Denver, I think they've got a shot. Absolutely. I mean, I definitely think the Nuggets can beat them in the playoffs. Aaron Gordon's got to be healthy. Yoke's got to be a beast. Like, it can happen for sure. And so I feel a little better about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would pick OKC right now in a 7-game series, but I think Denver can do this. Again, I want to stress that we're still stuck in that mode. Can do this, and not the confidence I was given that they will, right? Like, it's great that they fought hard.
Lot of this we're still riding off of our takes from 2 years ago.
Yeah, that is true. It is true. So yeah, like I would pick OKC for sure.
At least I am.
There's a way Denver can do this, but I don't think it's the most likely outcome for sure. And it's just, I think it would just also, it'd be great to be able to sit here and not go, well, it was because AG and because of this, and just say, no, they won this one, and they didn't. So I get it, man. They're clearly not in the same tier as the very best teams.
Yep.
I think if you have the best player in the world, you got a chance. But I wish we were talking about a win today, of course.
Yeah. I think if anything, this is funny because it's all about our perspectives, like where we are. I've come into this year lower on the Nuggets than everybody else. I've come in lower, was lower here. I think I'm a little more optimistic after this game. That's not to say I am optimistic. I'm just a little more optimistic because I do think that here's the thing about beating a team like the Thunder. They are better than Denver at their average. I think Denver can be as good at their peak. The problem is you have to stay at that peak for so long, and Denver hasn't done that all year. I mean, they just have not had a 48-minute game since they beat the Thunder the last time. I think it was the last time they had 48 minutes where they just kind of operated at their peak. The Thunder seem to have an easier job of reaching 80% of their peak more consistently. Denver did some stuff in this one that I think is interesting. I think the defense is clearly just not where it needs to be from an execution standpoint. This late into the season, can it get there? I don't know. We're running out of time, but maybe. And Yoke can make his three. Like, there's some stuff that can happen in this, happen here. The reason I would be less optimistic is I am so afraid Peyton Watson's not going to play in the playoffs. To me, this was like, what does Michael Malone feel if the playoffs started now? What would things look like? And I just can't see the Nuggets winning without Aaron Gordon, without Peyton Watson having some kind of... I'm not saying he has to play a ton, but he has to be a guy that is integrated enough and has enough trust that you can throw him out there when you need stops. And the fact that this was the first sort of chance of it and he played 6 minutes has me thinking, like, oh my God. I
think a reason that...
And he was bad. Like, again, I'm not trying to pretend he wasn't. He was not good.
A reason where, like, you could be pessimistic, and, like, I just said my optimistic take, I think I feel a little better about this matchup, but part of me does wonder, are a lot of people just still holding on to their takes from 2 years ago right after the championship?
What's that?
Just because the Nuggets have not been that close to that same team ever since.
I disagree. They were that team to me right after the All-Star break last year when they won 11 of 12 games.
Right.
And it was because, again, Jamal wasn't in shape until around then. But then when they beat Boston twice. They looked good. And I'm
so maybe I should say our takes from right then.
Yeah.
Because then they were not that team at all in the playoffs. They
definitely were not that team
and
in the playoffs.
And they have not been at all
year.
that team this regular season.
Yeah.
So maybe they just don't have it at all.
I think
that's the fear, of course.
I mean, that's of course hanging over all
that might be the most likely outcome. We'll probably know first quarter game one of the playoffs, like we knew last year. But we'll see.
That's very
on
well
the other
stated.
end of the injury, when they go 16-4, you want to go, this is the beginning.
Right.
But it's possible that they had a chance to get 2 of 3. There was the year the Warriors won.
Right.
And everyone still looks at that team like, how did that happen? It was the injury. So
Murray-
did we
Murray's
see
out.
the tail end of what could have been,
Not
as
the
opposed to the
beginning.
start?
They haven't been that team since statement.
Here's the
That's
one
the
thing.
fear.
The only thing I'll
2024.
tell you about that
That's the
is
fear.
Yoke gets you 80% the way there. It's the Nuggets organization to get the
Yeah.
rest of the way. So to me, it's not like it's over. But this group just has not
it's the
coming
fear.
together. To your point,
Yeah.
is this group not coming together, and we're like 18 games to go. You're right that it might be that it actually has come together. This is what you
It's
get.
just not going to happen.
Yeah. I don't know. Thunder are a good team.
we'll see.
Thunder are a good team. This was a 5-point
Yeah.
game with 9 minutes to go. Nuggets should have been going to the foul line. It didn't happen. Let's go up. If you're watching this one on our Fast channel, we're going to do Super Chats in overtime, and we're probably going to read a bunch of curse words. We'll see you over there.
Let's go over.
Let's go Super Chats.
Nick Trumbo. I feel like this game didn't tell us anything we didn't already know. Maybe things look different in the playoffs if healthy.
Yeah, I mean that's a valid take.
The health part of this is for sure.
This is kind of the. Didn't we feel this way kind of coming? I mean, we feel a little better now than after the Boston game.
to me, they're kind of both the same game.
But that's what Nick's
Health,
kind of
health
saying.
sucks though
you know?
because there's not like you can't control it.
yeah,
Right. They may just not be healthy.
and it's looking less and less likely that they'll be healthy.
I mean, right now, odds are that AG
I'm
won't
gonna
be
pull
healthy.
a deal out. I'm gonna
Maddox-
walk into traffic.
All this overreacting on my
voice that
timeline.
When he says that
What
one.
he did on that one.
All this overreacting on my timeline. Denver is right there with OKC when healthy. No Gordon and Jokic's elbow. OKC's soft whistle made the difference. #believe.
Yeah, but they get that soft whistle a lot because they know the tricks of drawing the fouls that the NBA is in love with.
Big-
Which are the worst fouls ever.
Big Honey felt like the boys played well. All things considered, just didn't have enough juice. We are accumulating injuries, which doesn't bode well for the last stretch of the season. Might be time to consider resting.
I mean, there is a case to be made. This is statement week. If Denver goes like 0-4 on this, their odds of being the 4 seed instead of the 2 or 3 go up. But maybe even that's a blessing in disguise where it's like, all right, they're not.
They can kind of shut it down a little bit.
There might be clarity of we're not going to be a high seed, so what does it matter if we play Memphis on the road or at home? I don't know. We'll see.
You're a star. Remember when we were the best team, beating whoever we wanted? Too bad it only lasted 2 seasons and we only won once. But we will always have those good memories.
Hey, don't throw in the towel yet, man. That's what quitters do.
Yeah, Michael.
A lot of talking to the chat is like talking to my kids. Like, guys, stick with it, man. Stick with it. Please, you could do this.
Michael Porter Truther, MPJ can't play against physical defense. Sleep emoji, sleep emoji.
I mean, again, minus 33. He was double the minus of every other player on the team. And I know it's not always predictive. To me, the defensive execution is what playoffs and good teams are about. And this is a team that when you give up the wide open dunks and stuff, those things are just meaningful.
Yeah. Was encouraged by the offense against that team.
I was
though.
too.
think
I was
you-
too.
I think you-
Rebounding was great
both
too.
things can be true, yeah. You're a star. Don't worry. Our problem is an offense. Unfortunately, only if the other team doesn't play defense. Joe Nola. Joe D in NOLA.
All right.
5-5-5-5-5-ish. Zeke Loki might be the best foul drawer on the team.
Oh, we got to play him to draw fouls. We got to get him out there.
426
We were talking about that on the
minutes,
watch along.
40 seconds down, only 128 minutes, 20 seconds down until 555 minutes.
He's gonna
for Zeke
get it,
Naji.
man.
Malone has to trust PWat more. We need him in the playoffs.
Man, Zeke with Aaron Gordon out. I mean, were we talking 24,
He might
28
explode
minutes a
past
game?
it. Yeah.
At least 20.
They might get 5,000 minutes.
Robert George wanted to say thanks for the watch along, made it more enjoyable.
I'm
Thanks,
glad,
man.
man. I'm glad. Yeah, we
Thank
like
you.
doing it. We're going to be doing more and more of those.
I think we did one for every playoff game last year.
And I'm sure we will for this year as well.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Truther, CB Jamal got killed all night 1v1D, but it's all MPJ's fault for screwing up the backside rotation. OKC guards blew by our guards with no screens.
Both things are absolutely true, Michael Porter Truther. Denver does not keep the defense in front of him.
Both of these things are true. Jake Kerr, thanks for the thoughtful analysis, guys. Enjoy this gorgeous weather and your good health. Cheers.
Man, thank you, man.
That was
Nice.
nice.
Jake Kerr, that's a real one.
I know.
Well, it's been
6
like
hours.
66. Like, it's going to be a good week, weather-wise.
Druid trading. Malone needs to relax on these big games. Genuinely nice.
Spoiler alert, he will not.
Genuinely nice people. The first half is what this looks like in the playoffs. AG bully ball destroyed Chet. SGA can score, but Joe can dominate. Yoke can dominate. Buck up, boys. I still believe.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Post nut clarity. We need to play Zeke, Pickett, and PWat more and rest MPJ, AG, and Jamal by reducing minutes. If we're going to win this year, it will be through what the GM planned.
I mean, I do think that it's kind of late in the year to be doing this, but that was kind of the ideal year. It's kind of the idea.
Kyle M. Hey, Wind.
Hey, Kyle.
Cedric Exquisite. No, Dev should have won. It's okay. We got part 2 coming. We'll be back. Well said, Vogt. Just in general, I suppose. And Dev, bad beats. Who here thinks we have a chance next one? This next game doesn't mean as much to me. Like, you split,
Yeah,
you
this
tend to
next
split
game,
these.
It means something, though.
I wanna
actually
split.
still think
I
it
wanna
means
I would
something.
much rather split than lose. That's a good point, Dev.
Yeah, split would be great. This one mattered
Narrative-wise,
more.
like MVP-wise, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
for the Nuggets, it would still matter.
Yeah.
And for the Thunder, I think it would still matter if they play their guys.
Depressing game. I need a 10-win streak now. 41% field goal percentage, 30% three-point percentage, 55% field goal free throw percentage. As a team, the hoop is always the same. They let the refs get in their heads.
Dude, I will say the 55% foul shooting is something we didn't even talk
was a
about.
huge factor
Why
in
do
this
they
game.
suck at free throws, man?
a huge
Yoke,
factor.
too. Like, he's part of that.
Mike, too. I don't understand how Mike is bad at free throws.
Doesn't make any sense.
Nicholas
Doesn't make any
Gayer,
sense.
or Gayer. I just want to leave a positive comment.
Probably not.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, guys. I don't know, bro.
It probably is.
I mean, it's like Geyer would be with a U, right?
I don't know. It doesn't matter, but we appreciate the positivity one way or another.
Either way, I'm sorry. Amin, Denver needs to experiment doubling shy tomorrow. You have to try different looks. Leave door open all game like they do with CB and Russ.
Yeah, I would love if Denver just came out with like a crazy game plan tomorrow.
I actually kind of think if that's one you have in your pocket, which I'm not sure they do, wait for the playoffs.
Well, the
Yeah,
ones
but like a crazy game plan that you're not going to use in the playoffs.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
just your
Just
chest
junk it up.
defenses?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like some crazy
Well,
shit.
one thing I will say is with PWat not playing a lot tonight, it does lend itself to an A/B test. Maybe you play him a lot tomorrow.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it's an A/B test there.
Yeah.
CeeLo 290. I still think Denver can contend, but is it time to surrender some L's and seeding for health? What's
Maybe.
the floor, ceiling? What's the fix? Be physical and hit shots. Feel lost, but still hopeful.
I mean, if you can
Thanks,
really
DNVR.
rest everybody and come in at the 4 seed or the 5 seed, maybe you do that.
What should you do with AG? Pray or rest the last 18?
Both.
I mean, he can't play unless he's healthy. The problem is, I think he was feeling healthy this last
That's
stretch.
what's
and
concerning.
It's like a little thing that's holding you hostage.
It could be you sit him for 18 games, he plays, and he hurts it again.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Victor Bellew, no more 3-guard lineups.
What about 4
Four.
guard lineups?
Hey,
Four guard.
joke's on you. We're going 4
Yeah,
guard
about
lineups.
4.
All right.
All right, let's get out of
Remember we
here.
were talking about maybe playing Peyton at the 2?
Might play him at C. We didn't get this. You hit the outro music already, Kel? We didn't get this. Flacco Chanchar made his return to the court. I know it was garbage time. I know whatever, but
Good for him.
we always forget these guys, what they're going through. 2 years of rehab, man, for Flacco Chanchar. Even to get out on the court just for garbage time was something cool. So shout him out. You never know. Maybe he's ahead of PWat in the rotation. You never know,
Easy.
guys.
Easy.
We'll find out.
But maybe.
Buzzer beater, get it in here.
Michael B, do you think a playoff matchup would look different once Chet and iHeart get some run together since they have only played a handful of games together?
Yes, I do. I mean, look,
Yeah.
that's a phenomenal coach, and those are two very selfless players in Chet and Hart. It's one of the underrated things about the Thunder. They have all these young guys, not a lot of egos, man.
They have great chemistry, man.
Guys that are really willing to do whatever it takes to win, including Chet, who, by all accounts, on another team or something, will be trying to be a superstar.
Yeah.
Showing off his handle and stuff. He uses it exactly the way he should. I'm impressed with him. So, yes, the Thunder might get better. They might also get worse, though. It's hard. It is hard, though, to close the season when you're up by so much, you know? It's
Yeah.
hard. So, we'll see what they do. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We're back tomorrow. Hit that like button on the way out.
Oh,
we'll
we
see
are?
you.
We all silly like the mayor.